I'm Chelsea. If none of you know, I know all of you, so you should. um, you guys probably mostly know my story. I was adopted at birth, and my parents are right there. And they're pretty awesome. And then when I was in grade 3, 4, Dad gave his life to the Lord. Mama brought me to church in Bengoff all since then, and then we found this church, and it was life-altering to our family. And then we went to the Philippines when I was in grade 5, and after that, Dad got sick, and I felt like Mom had so much on her plate at the age of 11 that I decided that I had to be my own caregiver. I had to take care of myself. That no one else had to be accountable for me at the age of 10, 11. So I shut myself off from my family. And that's the stupidest thing you can do, guys. I was mean to my parents because I felt like they didn't care about me enough when they were trying their hardest. And I'm sorry. I was so horrible to them, and then I graduated high school, and I left with barely saying a goodbye because I just couldn't stand being in this town. I couldn't stand being a person that was trying to live up to someone else's standards, and not God's standards, but human standards. And so I left, and I was going to school, and I wasn't happy. I was trying to go to church, and I was trying to read my Bible, and I couldn't understand what I was reading. So then I decided I might as well be like the girls I'm going to school with because they seem like they're having fun. And I got into a bad relationship, and I moved to Saskatoon thinking I can start over there because I thought that's what Moose Jaw could do to me. Moving to a place won't change who you are. It won't change who you are. If you can try it for a while, but you're always going to revert back to who you are. Unless God changes who you are inside, it is not going to work. Trust me on this. I've tried it time and time and time again. And then a year and 10 months ago I came back to visit my parents. We had started to get a better relationship. The distance did help a little bit. And then I met Pastor Terry, and I thought, this is a pastor? And he was pretty cool. And then a few months later, I came back, and Shelly was at my parents' house. And you knew how I was before I knew who you were. And you opened your arms and gave me a big hug. And I had never seen people so sincere and so transparent, not hiding anything. And I thought, if I could be anyone, I want to be like these people, because there's just something about our pastors that you can see their heart in everything that they do. And so a few months later, I moved back down here. I started working part-time, and right before that, on my birthday actually, it was the day before my 21st birthday. Oh man. And I was at church, and I was sitting just in front of where Jody's sitting there, and I just felt this presence come around me, and I heard as clear as if Pastor were preaching the word, you have to come back, you need to be here, and you need to start following me. And I said, okay. And it was the best decision I ever made. Since I've been back, everything's gotten harder and everything's gotten better. I have gone through a few jobs for various reasons, and but no matter where I am, God seems to put me in a place where people trust me and they open themselves up to me, and that's pretty amazing. I haven't heard stories like the stories that people are telling me when I go to work, and to be able to say, I understand, and there's always something. God can always be there for you. He's always there, and he knows the situations that you're in. He knows where I was for those 4 years when I didn't give a crap about what God thought about me. I didn't think he cared about me, so why should I care about him? But once you take that step and you start moving towards God and you start reading your Bible and getting into it, start getting it explained to you if you don't understand. Once you start worshiping God with everything you have and you open your heart bare and say, God, this is what's inside me, then he starts to pour into you because you're pouring out and there's nothing left of you to get in the way, right? Once you're out of the way, it's so much easier for God to do things in you, because you're not in the way. And God has been working in me and starting to take off the layers. He's been tearing down the walls. My relationship with my parents has gotten better. My friendships have gotten better with people. I'm able to tell people things that I would never tell anyone before, because I was such a person that would hold everything inside. And I wouldn't have been able to share anything. I wouldn't be able to stand up there again. I wouldn't be able to pray for anyone. I wouldn't be able to go for walks and encourage people. I wouldn't be able to worship God with everything I have unless God changed me. But it takes that first step, you guys, because unless you draw near to God, it's going to be pretty hard for God to draw near to you. He might say something. He might try and pull you out of the cave like you preached about and Pastor Brent preached about over the weekend. But he might say to you, come out of the cave. But until you do that, you can't have that experience where God changes everything inside of you. And this next song just gives God glory. It solidifies our stance as Christians. It says, we will be a generation that lives for your glory. And so I just invite you guys to all stand up and to give God everything you have, to lay yourself open, to lay yourself bare before him, to lift your hands in worship, to kneel down and give him the glory because he deserves it.